All right, we're back working on the Isuzu again tonight. Right now, we're kind of sitting at everything's been cut out and cleaned up. So now we got to start cutting this cross member and trimming it up so it's going to fit where it needs to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting all this out, and then we'll start test fitting everything. So we got these all trimmed up. I'm not gonna clean them up yet because I'm probably gonna have to trim them back just a little bit more. But let's go ahead and test fit it under the car. As expected, we are just a hair too big. We're gonna trim out a little bit more and then try again. We got the cross member trimmed up. Ended up cutting about another 1/8 inch off each side, so 1/4 inch total. So I'm going to show you guys how things should fit when you fabricate. So this cross member is in there 100% by itself with how tight the fit is. There are no tack welds, no jacks underneath it. And it's tight, like it's not falling out. So I'm going to start bolting everything up. We're going to throw the jack underneath the center in case it does want to fall out. And then kind of align everything how we want it in the wheel wells. And then we'll start tacking everything in from there. So this is where we're gonna start at. So the old suspension was centered on this hole here. So we're gonna use that as our reference point. So right now I've got it centered up. We've got the lower control arm bolted on. If you take a look, everything lines up centered with our center mark up there too. So both sides are centered off of these holes. I cross-referenced it off of these holes here to our center. And it's the same thing on both sides too, so we're pretty square. I'm gonna go ahead and I have to modify the top shock tower, or I guess shock mount. So I gotta cut the tabs off and we're gonna tack those on so we can kind of bolt the shock in and start assembling everything else. And then adjust as needed, wherever we kind of need to go, whether it's forward or back based off of the wheel inside the wheel well. All right, so our shock mounts, they need to be a certain distance from the center of the control arm bolt holes to the top of the surface where it mounts to. And so that's kind of how you determine which side is the passenger and which side is the driver. So I'm going to kind of show you guys what I did. So basically measured from center of this hole here to the top of my frame, and then measured from the bottom of the shock mount to the top. And that gives me the 9 1/4 inches that I need to be from here to the top of the mount here. All right, so I got our passenger shock mount cut up. We've got our center mark on there. And these need to have 3 degrees of positive caster on them. So right now, we're sitting at 1.6 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on there. Throw the level on this, and we're gonna see kind of where we're sitting at. All right, so we got this kind of lined up here, pretty close to center. And we're sitting at 4.6 degrees. So if you subtract that from the 1.6 that we had before, it gives us the 3 degrees of positive caster that we need. Update time. It's starting to look like a truck again, boys. So we got our shock mount just kind of tacked on there just to kind of see how we're looking. Bolted up the upper and lower control arms. We got the shock in there. We got the spindle. And we're actually looking fairly well right now. So off of our fender here, about 17.5 to center. Off our bumper, 17.5 to center. So I still want to drop a string line kind of down, center it off a little better, but looking pretty good. Looking way good. So I unfortunately don't have the wheels that are going to bolt onto here because these are for a different bolt pattern. So we got to get those, put the wheel on, and see how we're looking. So anyways, might wrap that up and call it a night.